The hard supportive or protective elements of the animal body forms the skeletal system. It consists of the bone, cartilage, the tendons as well as the ligaments. So all of these together forms the entire skeletal system. The functions of skeletal system is quite important, but before we move on to the functions, we must understand the difference between the endoskeleton and the exoskeleton. The endoskeleton is present in case of human beings. Endo, it means within. So the endoskeleton, it consists of hard parts present inside the body, that is the bones, the vertebra, the cartilages, the bones, they all together give an entire framework to our body, and that is known as the endoskeleton. Now, what is another kind of skeleton which is present in the animal kingdom? It is the exoskeleton. Now, you all have seen the cockroaches or the locust or any kind of arthropods or lower invertebrates. Over there, we see the presence of exoskeleton. Exoskeleton is the outer covering of an individual, and this outer covering of the individual is as such that is protective, but our outer covering is the skin, which is definitely protective, but it is not giving us the framework. But the framework of the body is given to the invertebrates with their outer skeleton, that is the cuticular outer layer, and that is known as the exoskeleton. You can think of the horn or the keratin substance or the chitin, which helps in formation of the outer covering of most of the invertebrates. That is the exoskeleton. But what are we going to study about? We are going to study about the endoskeleton today. So we will discuss about the functions of each of the skeletal the uses of the skeletal system. The first thing is the movement. The movement which we can have, that is from moving from one place to another or from jumping from at the same place, or any kind of body movement, that is only possible because of this hard framework. If you just think that a paper is moving, a paper cannot move as such without getting attached to some really hard stick or something in order to have a proper shape. So in that way, our body is getting this entire framework only because of the hard inner mass, that is the endoskeleton we have, the bones. Second important thing is it provides us shape and structure. The skeletal framework gives us and maintains the shape of our body. Without this skeletal support, human body wouldn't be flexible, like will become so flexible that it will be like an earthworm's body, or you can think of jellyfish or any organism which is not having any skeleton. So the organisms who are not having skeleton, they are like rubber, they can move from one place to another, and there is no as such their own control over the body. So we won't have that control if we had been lacking this structure. Next is about the support. The skeletal forms a rigid framework which gives support to the body against gravity. So, this role of skeleton depends on the deposition of calcium, phosphate, and carbonate in the bones, and this gives us our entire body framework. And even if you think about the land vertebrates, they have stronger skeletal system as compared to the aquatic vertebrates. Why? Because the aquatic vertebrates, they need buoyancy in order to float in the water. They don't want to get drowned, so that's why it's quite important. Next is about the protection. The skeletal, it encloses the vital organs and protects them from injury, like the heart, liver, stomach, intestine. Most of the vital organs, they all are present, even the brain, they these all are protected again inside this skeletal system, so that even or we meet with some injury or accident, our vital organs, they do not get injured. Our body gets injured, but not our vital organs, because if they get injured, it can cause death to us, or it can cause complete nervous breakdown to us. Next is about the site of attachment of muscle, or the muscle attachment. The skeletal furnishes a hard surface for the attachment of muscles to make them effective in movement. Now, whenever you think about the muscles, they are attached to each other with the help of the skeletal muscles. And all the muscles, if they had been just present like a cloth over our body, then we could have slipped out of it. I hope you are able to understand. I'm saying that the entire muscles, they are attached to the skeletal system as well. They are attached to these skeletal framework. Had it not been attached, the muscles, when if they were not attached with the skeletal system, then we could have expected that these entire body framework, or we could have just been able to remove the entire muscles away from our skeletal system. So it is not like that, because our body is completely attached with the muscles with the help of these tendons. So skeletal muscles, they are attached with the bones with the help of tendons, and that is why it is quite important, this muscle attachment, for giving us the entire framework of the body. Blood formation takes place in the bone marrow. So you all have heard about it, that blood consists of fluid connective tissue. It is all formed in the bone marrow. So bone marrow, where is it present? If you consume any kind of non-veg food like the chicken, or any organism, like over there you will be able to see the bones. In the bones, when you mm, see, or if you are eating it, you may find few people chew the bones. So they chew the bones, and after chewing it, they get some liquid coming out from there. That liquid is the bone marrow. And when it is cooked, you, those who consume it, they can consume it. But for the rest of the students who never consume the bones or these food items, they, for them, you just think that bones are hollow, and inside it there is some kind of, not liquid, some kind of cellular substance which is loosely packed, is present, and that is the bone marrow, where the production of fluid connective tissue occurs. Next is the movement. The liver system, it works because of the muscle contraction, and movement of bones causes the movement of the body parts wherever they are present. Like femur will help in the movement of the thighs, and the feet, leg. So all of them, they are connected, in that way they are moving. Mineral storage in the bones provide the rigidity to the bones. It means the calcium deposits are there, calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate deposits. It makes the bone much more rigid, and this helps in regulating calcium and phosphorus level of our body. So in this way, it is quite important. The last thing which is there is the sound production. Now you all have an idea about the larynx, isn't it? The cartilaginous larynx is helpful in production of sound. Whenever it moves, it produces the sound. So larynx is a cartilage, and it is also helpful in, it is also providing us communication skill with the help of the skeletal system. So these are some of the functions of the skeletal system which are most of the times asked, and you should be aware about it. Next is about the structure of the bone. This is something which we have already discussed, but again I just want to discuss with you all in a very quick progression. You can see that the articular cartilage is there. Entirely, the bone is divided in three parts: epiphysis, diaphysis, and epiphysis. Both the ends are epiphysis. They have some curvatures over it, and that curvature is known as articular cartilage. That is the outermost cartilage. Inside the bone, there is presence of spongy bone. Medullary cavity is there, and nutrient foramen is there, where the deposition of calcium and other substances take place. Other than that, we have the presence of peristonium and your endosteum within it. Now we will be studying about the details of a circular structure. Just think about the bone. If this is the bone, one small section is cut, and that is enlarged over here. Haversian canal is formed by continuous arrangement of osteocytes in a circular manner, and that is quite important. Filopodial extensions are the sites which make the entire bone look as if it is a bone, and osteocytes are the smallest unit which form the entire structure of the bone. So, lot of osteocytes having the filopodia, which are finger-like projections on the extensions or projections on the osteocyte. They all form a circular Haversian canal, and these Haversian canals, all of them, they join together to form you know the structure of the body, or the structure of the bone. Next is about the different types of the bones. Human beings, basically most of the vertebrates, they consist of, or their body consists of different kinds of bones. All these bones are classified in few types. We will be discussing them in four different headings. So the first heading is about the long bones. These long bones are long. They have largely they are large and are connecting link between the entire body or making the entire framework of the body. These long bones, they have high deposition of, you can think of this as a long bone. Okay, so it has the presence of spongy bone as well as the tough outer covering as well, along with the deposition of other parts. So this makes the bone or long bone quite evident for the body because it is forming the entire framework. The humerus of the upper arm, or the radius and ulna of the foreman, femur of the thigh, and tibia and fibula of the leg, all of these form the long bones, or long bones are helpful in forming these structures. Next is about the short bones. Short bones are spongy bones basically, and they are present in the metacarpus of the palm or metatarsals of the instep, you know, in the phalanges of the fingers and toes. These small bones, they are present in the portions where you have maximum movement. If you make or if you just close your fist or form close all the fingers of your fist, it forms a circular structure. That structure is only formed after the attachment of this entire area in this way, and that is known as the short bones. That is formed because of the short bones. Now the flat bones, they are present in the, they are also large bones, supportive bones, large supportive bones present in the shoulder girdle or in the sternum, that is your ribs. Cranial bones are also flat bones. Irregular bones are present in the vertebra or carpus of the wrist and tarsus of the ankle. These all together form the different types of bone. Let's have a look at these all bones. You can see the long bones, they are longer than they are wide. It means length is more than the width, and they are very rigid. Short bones are equal in width as well as length, and they are helpful in gluing two areas together. Think about your fingers. The fingers can move because you can make it straight and bend it down because they have short bones. Irregular bones are present in the vertebra in the sense vertebral column, and the flat bones, they are protective. Scapula is shown over here, and sternum, if you think of, these all form these specialized bones. Now children, it is very important that you understand that these all bones, here the longest bone and the shortest bone, longest bone is the, yes, it is the femur, whereas the shortest bone, it is the ear. It has presence of the shortest bone, that is the stapes. I'll just write the name of the shortest bone, that is the stapes. It is present in the ear of the individual. So this is all about different types of bone and a slight idea about all the structures. I hope you all have understood it.